Call them the kids when they had a chance to get started. Oh, this is a nice boy. Let's go for it. Now, we've had some changes in some of our scores. We had an error that was given to us. I don't like to hear this, but Matt Reed 77.5 is now a 72.5, but that's the way we're coming back from the judges. And remember, we say that the scores are unofficial. Dwayne Pillman is getting a re-ride. They're going to bring back school saddlebags. Boy, now this will be good watching. Our Canadian friend's going to get another shot at him. I don't know whether he wants one or not, but that's the way it'll work. So the 80.5, Danny Edbauer, he is out in the lead. 76.5, runs second now for Jack Nystrom. Third place is Ty Murray, 76. He's only a half point behind him. Toby, he says, what are we going to do here? Oh, Coyote's standing wrong. Step forward in the chute. Didn't want to lean right. He said, okay, get off. Let's not rush him. One of the things that so many people get confused about, because we don't always have time to show them, even in live television like we are today on CBC, but you can't hurt these horses and expect them to work. You can't starve them and expect them to work. They are not stupid animals. They may not be tamed and the most lovable in the world, but they develop a pattern of how we handle them. And if you abuse them, they're no different than you and I, Ernie. You know that if you aren't fed well, you don't feel good. If you're abused, you won't work. Even though our producer does have to whip you to get you to come to the rodeo and studio every day. He's sure quiet over there all of a sudden.
I don't want to say anything right now, Bob. I'm concentrating on this gate, and there it goes.
You got him coming. Right here, Toby Tope. Retreats. Now here's a horse with a change-up pattern of bucking. We get a chance to look at this again. This horse has got 3 different styles in the first 4 seconds and 5 jumps. And that will make a lot of difference in how your spur leg actually starts. The young Californian right here makes the first move. Started him out perfect. Horse hits, belly rolls, side to the right, then back to the left. Now right about here, he finally lines it out and then goes to jumping and kicking the way we like it. But he took every jump for its best. He made a good spur ride. He is now 75 points. That puts him in the top 4 at this point. Here's a cowboy that I've bragged on for the last 10, 12 years that I've been coming to Canada that I know. Drayton Valley, Alberta's Clayton Hines. He is 5th in the Canadian standings. He doesn't ride real good, though. We bucked him off before he even got started. There is a dangerous situation right there. Those iron gates in front and on both sides of you give that horse an opportunity to rip your shorts off right there. And if they take advantage of it, that's scary. They're going to give Clayton a moment to settle his horse. That's old High Rise from Bernie Franklin, and we're going to move to the champion of champions of champions. Mel Coleman, Lloydminster, Saskatchewan. This man is about to make his way into the Canadian Rodeo Hall of Fame. I don't know why they waited so long. 5 times he's been the Canadian all-around champion. That ties with the all-time great Tommy Buse. 7 times he's been the Canadian saddle bronc riding champion. That's a record. 17 times we've seen him between Oklahoma City and Las Vegas at the national finals. This is his 4th appearance at the Calgary Stampede for a $50,000 showdown. What more can you put on a man's resume of championship ability?
Well, you forgot to say that way back in 1974, he was the CPRA Rookie of the Year. And they all said he'd go on to be a great, and they were right.
They all said it, and I knew you'd find something that I didn't have the stats on. I've watched him do all that. I've watched him in New Zealand and Australia. And his beautiful wife, Teresa, and that #1 son, Jake. Jake's going to be the premier someday. I'm not sure what of. He could be a governor of the state of Arizona or something.
Well, Jake follows him all the way around. He has the same mannerisms, and he's not afraid of anything. He'll ride anything. He was trying to ride a dog last time I saw him.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
he's a cowboy.
He's a character, yeah.
He embarrasses his mother all the time in public, but that's what we like about our family sport of rodeo. Now, man, Mr. Master, if there is one,
yes.
Look at this horse.
Right up.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, Mel Coleman. Now, this is Blue Boy. Here's another one of them Sanford Cox raised horses that Wayne Bowl just bought. You may be looking at the next bucking horse of Canada. It's Snavely, Alberta, just a few days ago, or a rodeo a couple of months ago. Denny Hay marked 87 points on that roan horse. What's Mel Coleman going to do at the Calgary Stampede today? Here it comes, 76. Going to tie him in there for 3rd and 4th with Ty Murray. Now, this will be his 5th trip. If he makes it in the top 4 to shot at the 50,000. Melvin, it's about time you won it. You've done everything else. We're back to Clayton Hines now. Drayton Valley, boy, they got him out of there in a hurry. This is Bernie Franklin's high rise. Fold in the middle and buck to the moon. That's exactly what's happening. Oh, look at there, number 1 to the crowd. He is quite a star. Look at him tip his hat. Wayne Moses, get off that horse and come with me. I've always said Clayton Hines is one of my young heroes for the fact that this man has a $1 million smile and a style to go with it. And he is a gentleman. He likes the fans, and they love him. Good job. That horse got a little different style, though. When they fold like that and then snap and cock her back again, you've got to be quick with your feet. Let's see what they're talking about. 74 points. Is that going to do it? No. He's in a 4th place. No, 5th is where that's going to slide him down. We're back to Dwayne Pillman from Wainwright. Remember, they gave him a re-ride earlier in the game. This is Saddlebags, and we'll see how this is going to work. Now, giving him the option to do it again means that he has to get on 2. Playing 18 holes of golf isn't bad, but if you had to play 2 holes at a time, Ernie, this is basically what you're just pressuring up. He just rode a horse. He boiled the adrenaline once. Did he burn the bottom of the pot? I doubt it. Young, strong, and ready. They can muster it up again quickly.
I'm sure that when he was right off the top there and that horse came out low, you remember, he was thinking re-ride. All of a sudden, here he goes.
Give it now. Come on. Right here, Dwayne. That horse doesn't look like he makes his saddle fit him right, but he's riding. Oh! That was not a Hollywood get-off. That was not a Hollywood get-off. He needed out of there. I hope he checked with the tower before he left there. The farther he went, the higher he got. And as I said, this horse didn't look like it fit him. If we get a chance to look at it again, it just looked like a giant. See how big he is compared to the size of the horse, and he's kind of up in the middle. Oh, right there, he lost his swells, and he says, I got to get out of here. Right out through the front windshield, but he's all right. Now let's see what they do for Pillman. They're going to bring him in with a 76. It's a 3rd, 4th, and 5th place split. I'm talking unofficially, but Danny Edbauer, as much as you like him, Ernie, that's going to be your man with over 80 points. Afghanis, that's a great set of bucking horses and cowboys.
It certainly is. Dan Etbauer with an 80.5 leads it all. Jack Nystrom in there, and Ty Murray, the all-around champion for the past 2 years, a 7-time Canadian champion, Mel Coleman. Look at him in there. He made it along with Dwayne Pillman, who got the re-ride, and it counted just in time. What a session. What do you think, Ron?
Well, Ernie, you just can't beat it. 15 Cowboys have already qualified for a chance to go into prime time this evening here at the Calgary Stampede Rodeo. Of course, 6 with splits look to be headed there in the saddle bronc. Dan Etbauer arrived here, Ernie, at 5 to 12 local time, and actually went out of the chutes at 25 after 2, so 2.5 hours he waited for that 80 and 5/10. What a great day for Dan and his brother, who made the trip just to see him ride here this afternoon in spectacular fashion. So we've got lots more to come, the steer wrestling and the always spectacular bull ridings on deck. But before we get to that and more of the 1991 Calgary Stampede Rodeo, why not send you back for updates at Sports Weekend Control. Let's go now to Chris Cuthbert.
All right, Ron, the action looks great out there in Calgary this afternoon. Now, the Montreal Expos have won the first game of their doubleheader against Los Angeles. Oil Can Boyd the winner, 3-2 over the Dodgers. All 3 runs unearned, and they snap Brett Butler's hitting streak at 23 games, but the Dodgers lead game 2, 1-0 in the second. Other finals, Atlanta over St. Louis 2-1. Tom Glavine with the win, his 13th. Chicago's beaten Houston 4-3. In the American League tonight, it's Toronto and Texas this afternoon. Kansas City pounding Detroit 13-4 through 7. Boston leading Minnesota 5-1 through 7. At the Canadian Women's Tennis Championships, Patricia He, the 2nd seed, beat Helen Kelsey 6-1 in the first set. Kelsey comes back in the second set, winning 6-2. He is up a break at 1-love in the third. Earlier today, Grant Connell won the men's event in straight sets over Andrew Schneider, 7-6 and 6-2. And at the U.S. Women's Open Golf Championship, Meg Mallon by 1 over Amy Alcott late in the final round. More of the Calgary Stampede when we return.
Hey, guys, I'm into the cabin. Gonna get you anything?
Beer me.
Get some beers with me, Greg.
Yeah, get some chips. We'll wait here.
What's taking him so long?
Incoming. Finally.
Labatt's blue.
Whose turn is it to clean the cabin? Mine.
Perfect.
Now you're laughing.
Today's cowboy has many sides. Determined breadwinner. Gentle family man. World-class athlete. And lifelong partner. He's a competitive pro. Always with an eye open for the future. Discover all the facets of rodeo stars with our Budweiser Calgary Stampede Prime Time Special. Set aside tonight as family night at the Calgary Stampede.
Welcome back to the arena at the Calgary Exhibition and Stampede. As we said before, it's a beautiful day. It'll hold out till we're all through, and the showdown winners will be declared in a very short time. Right now, we're ready for steer wrestling, and qualifying through the series is Blaine Peterson, the Canadian champion twice. He won in Calgary in 1988. George Leask, who won in Cloverdale in our series, went to the CFR in 88 and 90, is with us. He's 5'10", 170, a veteran at 35. Leon Lay, a 7-time CFR competitor, a calf roper and a steer wrestler, is with us. Tut Hart, a newcomer to us really in Canada. He's a pretty good cowboy. He's from Billings, Montana. And of course, Greg Cassidy, who is a 2-time winner here in Calgary in 2 separate events, steer wrestling and calf roping, a Canadian champ 3 times, and he's won the all-around and a 3-time high point champion. The qualifiers then from that section from Calgary, Manoka, Craig Butterfield. You all know about the Butterfield family. John Wigley, John W. Jones, a world champion, Brad Gleason, and Kurt Golding. They're all set, Bobby. This is a time event. Everything goes at 30 miles an hour. Anything can happen. Even the great ones blow these.
Well, I think our partner Ron McLean mentioned earlier that it isn't a rodeo in Calgary if you don't have a Panoka Butterfield in there someplace. Young Craig is 17 years professional. We call them, I don't know why we always call the Butterfields all young. I guess they never get old. Bill Kaler, one of our house announcers, is always one of his favorites. 5-time Canadian finals qualifier. This guy right here, 17 years of experience. Now, Ernie, I know that there are other professional sports that hockey players, baseball players keep book on other teams and other players, and so they know when they're in a defense situation what to do. This man has built an encyclopedia, and he does it annually, remember, on the cattle. Every rodeo that he goes to, or if he doesn't go to one, he'll ask somebody, what did this steer do, that steer do? Because these steers basically will run for a year at a time, sometimes for 2 years. And these Mexican Corrientes are made just for this, horned cattle. So kind of got an international event, but this guy is a bookkeeper and a good one.
And this arena is a little bit larger than some they're used to, especially the indoor arenas, and the calf or the steer, whichever event you're in, has a chance to do funny things.
He's got about a 12-foot head start out of there. Wide horns, good grip. Here you go, Craig, and we're in business. Well, we've got Wilkie on the Hazen side, and there's a man that owns 2 of the greatest bulldogging horses in all of Canada. He brings them to the finals every year to a lot of the northern rodeos in the States. Had a chance to watch his gorgeous wife all week at the Calgary Stampede as one of our trick riders. This is a family event. I like to see this start off smooth and easy with a 6-2. Would you like to predict anything, Mr. Africanus, on that? I'm going to say 6-2. is not going to make it.
It'll be fast today with the weather conditions the way they are. I think it'll be fast. And you have people like Cassidy and Peterson in there and Leon Lay. Boy. Well, if 6-2 makes it, it'll be at the bottom end.
Yeah, it is. Ted Hart. Now, we've been watching him for the last 2 rodeos seriously on the Budweiser Tour all across Canada. Comes from Billings, Montana. Look at the concentration in his eye as he awaits. Greg Cassidy standing right there behind him, actually sitting on the fence behind him. And if you'll look at the maze in Greg's eyes, he's watching the line. He's about 4 or 5 guys to go. They're holding his horse out back. He's trying to calculate how to get out of that box without breaking the barrier. Oh, trying to put it on him, but he didn't take it. Don't turn loose or 50.
Hold on, Ted.
I agree with you, Ted. A clinch in his teeth and a handful of dirt is what he gets up to throw back to Mother Nature. That's it. It's over. Well, it's not going to be the last time, is my prediction, that you're going to see him here. So with a no time, the steer's going to get away. Leon Lay Cadogan. Now, watch out front as they get ready to ride in. We're going to try it again in the striped shirt. Here we go. This is his 4th shot at the $50,000. He's 3rd in the steer wrestling championships right now. He also competed one time, just like Greg Cassidy did, in the calf roping. Cassidy is the only man to have won this in 2 events, talking about the calf roping and the bulldogging. Now back your horse into position. Take a look at him. When he nods for the cattle, they'll let him out of there. The barrier line's in front of him again. So we talked about it in the calf roping. Had an opportunity to show you up close. For those of you that might have just tuned in to CBC Sports Weekend, we welcome you to the greatest outdoor show on earth. None other than the Calgary Stampede. As of yesterday, $250,000 went down. We got $250,000 in front of us again today. These are the 10 best. 10 best, and we're down to the 3rd one. Cadogan, Alberta. Leon Lay's time as we look to it with a 6 and 4. Now, it may be somewhat confusing. And what are we doing? I thought this was the end of the rodeo. Well, basically, the Calgary Stampede finished yesterday after 9 rounds. We've been to 5 rodeos out across the country. We started at Cloverdale, British Columbia in May. Then we went to Medicine Hat, Alberta, to Brandon, Manitoba, to Swift Current, Saskatchewan, to Ponoka just a few days ago. For those of you that have followed those series on the Budweiser Tour, you know how we got the top 5 seeded for this top 10 round. And yesterday, Ernie, he drew the books up the way he wanted them and brought me 5 more.
Just to change the subject a little bit, are the steers looking a little larger today than usual? They're tough to bring down. They're just big.
Ernie, I have no reason to disagree with you, but I don't know why a grown man would want to pay $30,000 for a horse, $5 grand for a saddle, a pickup truck, a camper, and a horse trailer, $400 in entry fees to wrestle something that weighs 700 pounds, and all you're going to do is get dirty and snot on your shirt. Now, this does not make sense for a well-educated, large person of this age to do things like this.
It's okay for $50,000, though.
No, there's other ways to make it. But where can you have more fun in 6 seconds with your clothes on a Sunday?
Hurry, yes.
Rip City. Big Rod Lyman on the Hazen side that time, and now we're talking money. Brad, oh boy. Oh boy, Bradley. Well, now, as I mentioned, Rod Lyman on the Hazen side, and Brad Gleason comes out of there with a 4.9 to go to the lead overall. Brad Gleason is also a calf roper. He's an all-around challenging cowboy from Montana. He'd be one of the top 5 in 1990 in the all-around. That's the world standings, of course. But the next man in the middle of the pack today carries a hammer that he can swing like nobody else. For the last 30 years, the name John W. Jones with his father first. Calgary championships, world championships. John's followed in stride.
3-time world champion. Can do just about everything.
He knows what he's running out here in Calgary. It's money today. A beautiful bronze will go along with the check for $50,000 if you win it. And of course, all of the glory in the world in front of 20,000 rodeo fans from all over the world. 6 and 7 is what we've got for John, and right now, that's long. He got a hold of the steer. Everything worked right, but he let him slow down. The steer got his feet spread and set, and he actually couldn't get the slam dunk. He knows that. He's thinking about it now. Why couldn't I got to him quicker? Well, it's if and or but, and you can if yourself to death. Now, a few moments ago, our cameraman picked up the face of Greg Cassidy on the back of the chute. He was sitting in there calculating on how a horse will run against that barrier line and how much advantage you allow the steer to have. You basically try to view the judge to allow the animal to move. This man has competed in 10 of the $50,000 runoffs, 6th in the steer wrestling, 4 of them in the calf roping. And we keep talking about Ty Murray. Why do we sideline this guy? Here is an all-around contender. This man has come to the States, and I mean, when he comes south of that line, he wins his share of the money. He's many times a qualifier for the NFR. Twice a $50,000 winner now. In '84 is when he won the calf open. And then just last year, he went home with the Bulldog in check in the bronze. What a mantelpiece that would be, is to have 3 of those beautiful bronzes and 3 big checks. Go on, Craig. Yeah, buddy. Oh, yes. Look out! Oh! I don't care if he's a Canadian American or what he is. There is a superstar, and he'd be the last guy in the world to tell you that. Watch him slide into position. Horse perfectly set him up. Slide down deep. Come underneath and lay down, Louise, and that's just what he did. Consistency, Ernie, is what I'd have to say. And his mannerisms are the same way. Now that 6-2 puts him in a tie for 2nd and 3rd. Brad Gleason's #1 spot at 4.9 for the Ennis, Montana Cowboy is there. Here's another guy that I'd have to brag on the same way. Blaine Peterson. Comes from Amisk, Alberta. Won $89,000 in the last 5 years that he's been here. Watch this. Oh, monster man. He got my body, I'll tell you that.
Watch this.
Yeah. Let's go back to 1988. That's when he won the $50,000 the first time. Canadian champion. We've talked about it before. I think that CBC ought to get some credit out of this. Cloverdale Rodeo ought to get some credit. 8 years ago, the first time he won the first rodeo we did for the Bud Series in Cloverdale. He has never slowed down since. And I think he's won nearly $100,000 at this rodeo right here. Not this year, but over a period of about 8 years. That's a pretty good average. 4.8. It's official. Wow. He's now #1. Alberta goes to the lead. Montana drops to 2nd. And here's the man that tied the fastest calf in the entire Calgary Stampede so far this year, anyway. Tied one in 7 and 4. Now, this is his 7th year as a professional rodeo athlete. Kurt Golding, Duncan, Oklahoma. Oh boy, we're not far from going to Oklahoma. It becomes the home site, about 40 miles from where he lives, of the high school national finals. About 2 weeks from now, there it is. We're getting smooth. I predicted earlier a 6-2 would not hold. There's a 4-8 in the lead. 4-9, and now he's 5 flat. Moves him into 3rd. And that 6-2 now is going to jump back to a 4th and 5th splits of Craig Butterfield and Greg Cassidy, who are at a 4th and 5th. If they don't change anything else, will get a run. If either George Leask or John Wigley, the Aussie, can move them out of there, they're not going to be seen in the showdown a little bit later. And for those of you that had other plans on a Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening, we're going to go someplace. Don't you move. You keep it turned into CBC, turn up the knob to where it's loud, rip it off, and sit back and relax. There's no other place to be today. George Leask, twice the Canadian finalist. Yeah, George! We're gonna make history! This is the first time that he's come to the office on the last weekend of the Calgary Stampede. Oh boy. He won the Bud Series rodeo at Cloverdale this spring, put $6,900 in his pocket. Let's look at the changes. He goes in there with a 4 and 5 now, moves him to the lead. Pedersen is in there with a 4-8 for second. Third now with a 4-9, Brad Gleason. And Kurt Golding at 5 is fifth. You've got to be 5 to tie, John Wiggles. Come on, Wiggly man. Let's see what you can do. Australian competes in Canada just during the summer. This is a city-raised kid. Now think about this. Here's a kid raised in the streets. A friend took him to out in the country a few years ago. Said, what do you think about this? Fresh air, space, want to be a cowboy? He said, yes, I do. He's an Aussie, but he's a Canadian, but he is a champion bulldogger. And he's in a wrestling match, and he's going to win second in. Wacko. Oh, slapped him in the mug right there. Slapped him in the mug with a horn, and I hate to see that. He had the hammer to put it all on him today, but it's not going to work. That's the way it goes, Ernie. Church ain't over till the fat lady sings, and I haven't even heard the first chord yet, but we've got more rodeo to come and more excitement. Just going to have to back it up, and my prediction did hold. I guess I'm lucky with a 6-2 didn't place. Oh, boy. Afghanis, they're all yours.
Blaine Peterson in there with 4-8 along with George Niesket 4-5. Those were the low men. Look at this. Blaine Peterson, Brad Gleason, Kurt Golding, and George Niesket. Those are the four that are going to go on. But it's too bad that Greg Cassidy couldn't get in there because he was trying to go for a third championship. Wasn't able to work it out. John W. Jones, guys like that who expected lots from, didn't quite make it. But still a great session. Now here's Diana McDonald.
Ernie, the Bulls are coming up, but the Cowboys aren't the only ones that are going to be busy. So will this man, one of the best bullfighters in the business, Mr. Leon Russell. Tell me about this close call you had yesterday, Leon.
Well, I'll tell you what, I got out there in front of one of the little Mexican fighting bulls, and I kind of made the wrong move at the right time, and he tried to plant me out there in the arena so I'd be growing here next year. But
wrong move at the wrong time. You got trampled. You were curled up underneath him.
Yes, it's not much fun being on that end of one, you know, but it's the side that not everybody gets to see of a bull, so I'm in a very elite group when I see that side, but it was just a major mistake that I made, but just slipping, and just got down underneath him, and he knew what to do when I got there.
Well, it's not a close call if you don't get hurt. Be careful out there for us today.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, back to Ron.
We had a lot of Alberta Bulldoggers do so well in the steer wrestling here this afternoon. Greg Schlosser, who formerly was out of Okotoks and in and around that area, now Staveley, Alberta, is going to be up in the bull riding. We have a couple of other defending champions here this afternoon. It's a tough going coming up next when we return to the 1991 Calgary Stampede Rodeo.
Basically, trucks are used for two reasons, hauling and towing. And for that, you need power. And the Sierra from GMC Truck has the most standard horsepower, which gives you the hauling and towing capacity you need. Plus, for 5 straight years, the GMC has retained more of its original value than any other full-size pickup truck in Canada. The Sierra, powerful and durable. The 1991 Sierra full-size pickup from GMC Truck.
Here at the 1991 Calgary Stampede Rodeo, and right in behind the chutes where Cowboys are lined all along here, and 10 hopefuls hoping for the opportunity to qualify amongst the final 4 who'll go for $50,000. If I sound a little nervous, you could understand why. $50,000 showdown in prime time later tonight. Bob Tommy, Ernie Afghanis. I know it's got to be a load safer where you're sitting right now, so let's get to the final event of the 5 majors here this afternoon at the infield in Calgary. Bob?
And Ron, this is like an all-star field coming up here. Look at this. From the series, Jim Sharp is a 2-time world champion. Then Clint Bronger, who is a high school champion, won in Calgary in '88. Another world champion, Ty Murray. Raymond Wessel, who is a Prairie Circuit champ. And Jim Lawrence from Kennedy, Saskatchewan, who won in Brandon in '91. From Calgary, Troy Dunn. Then Jay Sukup, who won our series in 1986. Cody Custer, a silversmith by trade. Mike Erickson, who is actually 15th in the world right now. And Greg Schlosser, who won in Calgary in '84. He's a two-time Canadian champ and also has won the Canadian All-Around Championship. Bull riding, and we have some mean suckers back there in the chute.
Oh, you guys are overpowering this deal about the mean ones. This is none other than the Aussie right here. We're going to him. Troy Dunn going to put the kicks on this one. Look at it, kicking, look at it.
Hold on.
Holy mackerel, did he make it? I didn't have much time to build it up for this guy, but I mean, he'd spur a 747 if he had a shot at him. That left foot, they ought to name him Lefty. I mean, he has rode 27 of the last 31 that he's got on, and he rides them all just exactly the same way. When that bull turns to the right, it's Meat City right here. Put the cleavers out and look at him spur. He just got a little too wild today. I want to see if the judges say, did he make it? The horn you may hear, I don't know if that's official or not. They're going to go with the clocks. They're going to mark him 79 points. Now, just how much are we going to have to do today to try to catch up, keep up, or get ahead of him? Cody Custer, 6th in the world standings from Wickenburg, Arizona, has got the Wayne bull they call Weeds. Now, what you want to see, no, change it. They got an 80, they said, for Troy Dunn. 8-0 for the Aussie. The little platoon did it for him. This little bull stuck Jim Sharp's head in the ground the other day. He's bucked 2 of them off. If Cody Custer could get past the 2nd and 3rd jump right here, Wayne Bull's bull. Where's he going? Come back over here, Black Molly. He's going the wrong way. He's just a youngster, that bull, but all of a sudden he changes his entire game plan. As Leon Coffey and Ryan Byrne move in for the save. That bull did not do that ever before. Now, Dennis Generou is right here with the camera where we need him. By the way, Ernie, it's nice to see Dennis Generou's got his camera on his shoulder and not on the horn of a bull today. We talk about toasting a cameraman and a $65,000 toy for CBC. I like your lens shot a lot better today, Dennis, than we did yesterday laying in the dirt. Well, that bull just didn't do it what I expected him to do, and we're going to have a 74 for Cody. And I'd predict with an 80 to start it off, unless we throw off the next 8 guys, that's not going to make it either. Raymond Wessel's my man, 4th in the world standings. Comes from Wichita, Kansas. And this is a Stan Weatherly bull they call Spinks. Now, here is a bucky little dude right here, but this is a pretty sticky little cowboy to get on him. I want to say that our cameraman for CBC and our rodeo crew, and basically we've had many of them for many, many years with us, you just don't get any closer to the action. You can smell it right there.
Dennis Generou will do anything to get a shot.
He got the shot. Now let's get the money. Goodbye. I told you. He's sticky but not sticky enough. The 4th ranked man in the world standings goes to the ground. Stan Weatherly takes the credit right there. What went wrong? Looked like the bull just blew. When they'll bail out of there with that tight rope around their belly, right about here, their body will expand 4 to 5 inches. And literally, he got back, away, out of the posting position. We have an opportunity to show you what the ideal sitting position is in a minute. We'll do that. But if he can stand the man up and show from the top of his heel, off the point of his hip to the back of his shoulder with his chin tucked, and they sit out over those bulls and can stay there, you got him. Then the free arm keeps the upper part of the body in motion wherever the bull is going.
Bobby, what does it do to a bull rider's psyche when he's ridden so many in a row, suddenly to get it bounced by something named Spinks? A good bull, of course.
Well,
but
it's good for him.
Okay.
It's good for him. Here's a boxer when you say Spinks, but here's a boxer. Here's Clint Bronger, and Bronger will tell you this. You ride 25 in a row and you get pretty cocky. And you get one of them take out there and just slap you against the ground. I mean, it'll jar your brains a little bit and make you think, wait a minute, I'm not invincible. I can be bucked off. Clint Bronger has been in this $50,000 ride-off 4 times. And think about it, he came to the Final 4 from 4 previous occasions doing this. This man is an unbuck-off cowboy, and you're seeing why. I want to see the replay. I don't like the way he gets off, but I want to show you what perfect form to ride bulls is, Ernie. Now, Gary Lafew, who I think is the expert at teaching bull riding, has shown us and taught us through years and years of slow motion. You see where his body is? He's in perfect form. The free arm waves around to keep the centrifugal point and the force of the bull directly under his hand. His feet are set, but right there he sits erect. Tough Hedeman, Jim Sharp, Cody Custer, Cody Snyder, our own Cody Snyder. All these guys ride this way. Couldn't ask for any more than that. 82.5, somewhat anticlimactic after he made it look so easy. The crowd didn't actually believe that he was all that many points.
He may be coming into a peak because remember he won in Ponoka the last time out in our series, and that brought him in for victory there to qualify. And right now he's just sitting up there. Looks like he's taking a bus ride. He's very confident.
Maybe too easy. You notice the crowd never did get too excited over that at any one particular point because of his perfect position. And we knew that bull was going to get rode if he ever got past the end of the gate on him. Here's Jimmy Lawrence now, 5th in the Canadian standings. This is his first ever shot at the $50,000 in a 10-year career. Jimmy Lawrence is always right on the edge of being so close to being one of our top champions, but his consistency has kept him in there. Now, he's been to the Canadian finals 4 different times. He won the big Budweiser Series rodeo at Brandon, Manitoba about a month ago. But this little bull they call Beetlejuice. Woo, boy. I mean, he'll torque your taco. You get in the wrong spot with this one. Snatch your shorts right down around your ankles and walk all over you, buddy. This Jimmy Lawrence, I love the way this kid rides, but he is the worst get-off kid in the world. I mean, set up Jim now. Come here. Oh, juice, get away from the wall. There goes my camera again. No, he almost got him 2 days in a row. Chenaru, you are a dangerous man. Oh, look at he's right underneath our cameraman. He wants some more of him. I'm going to get him a helicopter in a sky hook next year to hang him over this arena. Oh, Jimmy, good. Kennedy, Saskatchewan, if you're watching today, I'm sure you can be happy. I said rear back and relax a few minutes ago, but you better be out on the edge of your chairs in your front room right now. Now here comes the all-time champion, Ty Murray. This is Larry Mahan 25 years later. I've got a 63.5. It's okay because he's got one road. They're going to give him an option for a re-ride. Why? As I mentioned, when old Juice came out of there, he jumped and went right down the wall, slipping and tripping and falling and splatting on the fence. That's not a bucking bull. That is what you call a trash walk. We don't like that garbage, so we're going to give him a shot. Send him home with the cows for a while, get his attitude adjusted. If that don't work, hello, McDonald's, and away we go.
Trash walk.
Hey, trash walk, man. That's the way it is. You don't have to believe all of that stuff, folks, but that's the way it is. Ty Murray is fifth only in the bull riding standings for the world. He is the #1 all-around champion cowboy. This is the Franklin bull they call Country Bar. This is a new one, and he is a dandy. Bernie Franklin won't say too much about his bulls once in a while, but he said, Bobby, you better watch this one, Buck, today. When that old gray-haired dandy talks to you, it's like Warren Cooper saying something, you better believe it.
We watched this particular bull in the preliminaries. Never even got out at that first jump, and the rider was gone. Just caught him at the last moment.
That was Raymond Wessel
exactly.
in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
I mean, pitched him in the corner like a dirty shirt, and the buttons never even quivered. It's history. This bull throw you off so far, you got to take a Greyhound bus back to the park. Change your area code. But look who's on him. Ty Murray, the cowboy. There's Ryan Byrne in the pink outfit. Canadian finals bullfighter year after year. He's been to the national finals in Las Vegas and the Wrangler Tour along with Leon Truffy. It's going to work. You watch little Ty. He'll tie knots in him. Tie knots in him. Hold on. Stay there, Panda. Look at the kid off. You talk about body control now. What are you going to do with this guy? You got to cut his head off and hide it for 30 days to give the rest of them a chance to catch up, let alone beat him. He is unbelievable. His great all-around champion, Uncle Butch Myers, I'm sure is very proud, along with the parents. But Larry Mahan, if there is going to be somebody that's going to take over your spot in the rodeo world, this is the kid to do it. 21 years old. As I said earlier, he was telling all of his friends in the bronc ride and in the bull ride, he said, I'm sorry all you guys had to qualify here. Now, I know it's going to make you mad, but I'm going to take your money. He's got a shot at $100,000, but whoa, wait a minute. 75 and a half. That'll jump him into the third place spot. He may not make it with that. He may not. Okay, let's try it again, boys. This time we are talking about Mikey Erickson, the thin man in the 15th spot from Choctaw, Oklahoma. Now here's a Wayne Bull bull. They call this one magic. Listen to this. 20 times they bucked him this year, and 20 times it's been no baloney for the Cowboys. Just a baby black volley. That baby black volley's 4 years old. Look at Leon Coffey. I'll give him some shots back. Now, Wayne Bull told me he thought Mike Erickson could ride this bull today. 21 out of 21 in 1991 for a 4-year-old calf. That young man can ride. He's 15th in the world, but right now at Calgary, a bit dejected. Yes, sir. Look at here. Whoa. Man, I mean that bull. You see the moves he makes? 3 different moves while he's in the air. That is an athlete. Wayne Bull, you may have you another Kathmandu on the way right there. Well, third in the world standings is Jim Sharp from Stephenville, Texas. Kathmandu, I mentioned right there, is now the bull from Wayne Bull we're going to watch. This man won the $50,000 ride-off in 1987. He was 85 points on a Wayne Bull bull, the great Rambo. Kathmandu is a kicker. Number 101 is his number. Now, Wayne told me what this guy would do. He said, I don't mind saying it, but Jim Sharp is probably going to kick my bull till he coughs. He said, old Kathmandu, and he has been an unrideable dude. He said he's going to get a lesson today. This guy could make him look like a 4-H calf on a Sunday afternoon picnic. He has all of the abilities, the perfect style, the first man to ride 10 in a row at the national finals, world champion time and time again. But if you'll watch the stiff back, he literally throws his chest out over him, bow in his back, feet set, hips in perfect position. His feet will never be out of control. Shoulders set, and his eye and mind is perfectly down on the center of the neck of that bull. Where his head goes, his body has to follow. But in a spin to the right, let's say if he throws his head to the left, that's not necessarily where he's going. Here it is, it's going to work. The man is got it on the road. Aha! Now, you see that bull went into a 4 or 5 turn spin to the right, Ernie, and then jumped out of it to the left. The bull never gets rode that far 9 out of 10 times, and he knew he was going to get rode, so he tried to change his plan. We've watched it for years and what these animals will do, and watch him in a replay spin. He's a shucking and a jiving, throwing everything he's got at Sharp, and Sharp's just sitting up there going, come on, buck, buddy, buck. Oh, well, judges, what do you say for the Texas world champion? He wants another $50,000 and 78 points even. We got an 82.5 to the lead, then an 80 as 78 jumps into third, and Ty Murray's fourth, now been narrowed down. Ernie, if we move him out of this, no $100,000 challenge as we go to Greg Schlosser. Okay, Stan Weatherly brings us this bull. They call him Big Bill, and he is. Schlosser, Stavely, Alberta, all-around champion back in 85 in Canada. Bull riding champion in 81 and 85. The Calgary Stampede all-around champion in 84. Then in 1986, just before he went off to the Hollywood work, he smoked him for $50,000. He's currently 7th in the Canadian standings. He's had a 2-year sabbatical. And the big bull, Charlie's Ghost, just yesterday that tore the camera out of Denny's hand that we saw the big wreck with. This bull hurt him yesterday, slammed him into the chute. But that was 24 hours ago. What do they do? Ice, stretch, mind game. Greg Schlosser! Hey, yes, sit up.
Hold on, Greggy.
Sit up, Greg, sit up. He's there. I'm going to give you a quick prediction before the judges come to surface. That Ty Murray has just been moved. He is not going to get a shot in that 4th place. Now, the judges can't hear us, but that's going to be my prediction. He just beat him. Schlosser, it's good to have him back in business. The movie business had been a little light lately in Canada, and he said, I could use that $50,000. Let's see what they're talking about. I'm going to predict around 78, and it is 78.5. Well, Ernie, there goes our other prediction now. Todd Sloan's not going to get a shot for a third one. Ty Murray is down to one event. So, Jay Sukup, Eckville, Alberta. Born and raised in South Dakota. 2 years ago, married a gorgeous blonde from the Northland in Alberta. And in about 90 days, he better be thinking about baby shoes and Pampers, because Mama is going to bring a little Jay Sukup into the world. And I said, what if it's a girl? He says, no problem. She can be a barrel buster or a tennis player. Now, this man is 3 times qualified to the Calgary Stampede, $50,000. One of the Johansson boys right there helping him get ready. Long-time Johansson champion bull rider, Jay Sukup, you sit up there. Oh, no! Well, I don't think it stepped on him, doggone it. That's just exactly what he said, too. Oh, he grabs that shoulder. Had to hit hard. That's not going to work. Not going to work. Tejana was the name of that bull. That means racehorse in Mexico. That's one of them long-eared, flopping, popping, crossbred Bramers from Wilf Gerlitz. Now, we're going back to Jimmy Lawrence. This is the Dust Buster. They won $50,000 on this bull. Clint Bronger won $50,000 on him, and if I'm correct, it was last year. I'll have to check that out, a couple of years ago. The last 3 years, 88, 89, and 90, Wilf Gerlitz's bulls. It was in 88, Clint Bronger won that. I don't know what to predict on this one, Ernie, except hang on. This bull can buck. But when you've got the kind of power that Wilf Gerlitz has got, and 3 years in a row they win $50,000 on your bull, that has got to be something. They better give him a plaque on the wall. Jimmy Lawrence, Kennedy, Saskatchewan. Earlier had a bull that just did not buck. They marked him 63.5 and gave him an option for a reride, and that's exactly what we're going to do here today. In a quick recap, it's Clint Bronger to the lead with an 82.5. Troy Dunn is then second with an 80. Third at this particular point is Greg Schlosser a moment ago on Big Bill with a 78.5. Folks, they don't make him any better, any bigger. Look at him here. He takes him a big deep breath, slides up against that rope, trying to get his body out over the hump right here. Let him out, boys, let her rip. And the little red horn bull tries it once to the right. Jumps out of it, back to the right. He's gonna make it look easy. That bull made it look easy for him today, and I tell you, Jimmy can ride, but the bull didn't have all of the juice that he normally has. Just kind of a nice, mediocre day. Well, it's easy to say when you're sitting here watching it. Look at here, power, perfect. Upper body right. Oh, good moves. Posts right out over the top in the center of that point of buck. Rode him easy. Now what are we gonna get for the scores? Gonna have to be up in there, 77.5. Only puts him in a fifth-way tie with Ty Murray. So that means Ty Murray is out of the top 4. I'm sorry to bring that news to you. Well, it's good watching. Ernie, here come your champions of the top 10.
What a nice comeback in the latter part of this season by Clint Bronger. 82.5 gives them the lead. Troy Dunn right in behind. Greg Schlosser has another chance to win in Calgary, along with Bronger. And Jim Sharp, now look at this. We have a 2-time world champion there. He just loved to come back and win again in Calgary. He won in 87. And actually, a 78 today just got him in. But Clint Bronger could be the dark horse here. Had a pretty bad start, but now he's really looking good. And we'll be back with a few thoughts about what happened today in these Calgary finals. But first, this.
The clean, totally fresh taste of Bud Light.
You know, one of these days we gotta get that fridge fixed. Yeah, tomorrow.
For those who follow their own light.
Big boys love their toys. That's why there's the Chevy half-ton short box extended cab. More room than Ford for the boys. more payload for the toys. And big boys can still put their toys away at night.
Today's truck is Chevrolet.
The Budweiser Calgary Stampede Special. Brought to you in part by Chevy Trucks.
I need this in my ear.
Hello, hello. We're back in Calgary, a beautiful afternoon, as we have pointed out several times. The rain has held off. We had some sort of prediction that it would happen, but of course it didn't. And we had just some exciting competitions here, Bobby. Look at this. We went through a total of 5 events here, and we had all kinds of guys trying to make it into this final. And we had some people who we predicted, like Timer, who might make it into 2 events. Jim Sharp, we said, could make it. He did. We had all kinds of people on the fringe, but at the last moment kind of, well, backed out and lost. But looking at this, we see that, well, we did get some guys back in there that I thought was, well, look at Mel Coleman in Saddle Bronc. He's had such a great career, and all of a sudden he's back in there for a chance at the 50 and might make it.
I don't think Mel Coleman has rode that good a bucking horse in the last 5 years. Now, this red roan horse bucks so good, and he tried so hard with all of the titles that he's won, he's never won a $50,000 ride-off. And his wife, Teresa, said, Melvin, we're going to buy a new ranch if you can win that. And little Jake said, Daddy, we need the money for college. So it proves that the old guys will come out.
Yeah, what a time we're going to have in that special. What do you think, Ron? Should be very exciting.
Well, there's no question about that, Ernie. Diana, you started the day on one of Wayne Volt's horses, and what an afternoon Wayne had. He's such a great hand as a pickup man here at the Stampede, and both in saddle bronc and in bull riding, he helped a lot of the cowboys out here today.
He sure did. I wish I could buy that horse from him. I know he won't sell it. I've been impressed by the toughness of the cowboys. I know it's a cliche, but you see them limping. I know they've had a hard time out there. $50,000 makes the limps a little easier to take.
Not only was Diana watching the rodeo this afternoon, but out interviewing lots of stars, celebrities. We'll see that tonight. We encourage you to join us for the prime time special, the Budweiser Calgary Stampede special, 9 o'clock in the Maritimes, 8 o'clock for the rest of the nation. On behalf of all of the crew here at the infield at Stampede Park, that's it for now. Join us this evening, and right now let's head to Sports Weekend Control in Chris Carter.
All right, Ron, great show this afternoon, and great news just in from Switzerland. Silken Laumann of Mississauga has won Canada's first World Cup rowing title ever, so our congratulations to her. We're going to recap all the winners this afternoon. Expos over the Dodgers in the first game of a doubleheader 3-2, but they trail in the nightcap 3-2 through 4. Atlanta beat St. Louis 2-1, same score. San Diego over New York. Chicago edged Houston 4-3, and San Francisco blasted Philadelphia 17-5. Blue Jays go tonight against Texas. Kansas City 18-4 over Detroit. Boston beat Minnesota 5-3. Grant Connell and Patricia He are the national tennis champions, and Meg Mallon has won the U.S. Open Women's Championship. Just a reminder, next week on Sports Weekend, Friday, we kick off the Molson Toronto Indy with a preview. Saturday morning at 10 Eastern, live third-round coverage of the British Open, followed by the Chuck Wagon races from Calgary, action from the IndyCar race in the Meadowlands, and qualifying for the Molson Toronto Indy. Sunday, the final round of the British Open and Molson Toronto Indy. Don't forget the Rockets scheduled to launch this Thursday live on CBC. Argos against Hamilton beginning at 7 Eastern. And later tonight, the primetime showdown from the Calgary Stampede. For everybody at Sports Weekend, I'm Chris Cuthbert, bidding you a pleasant good evening.
Brian Williams puts you in the fast lane with the Molson Indy Preview Friday on CBC.